me ask you this. If you were having to endure the absolute worst torture that had ever been inflicted on another human being, what would be on your mind? Would it be all the cares and concerns and the comfort of all those around you? Or would you be more like me? Like, you're on your own. I got to take care of myself. I would be all about my pain, my anguish. I would not be concerned about you. Sorry. Well, it is Holy Week, and we are looking at the last 7 words that Jesus said on the cross as he hung there in anguish. And we're going to look today at what was on Jesus' mind as he hung on the cross. So we're looking at John 19, and we see that Jesus, his mother, and his mother's sister Mary and Mary Magdalene are standing nearby, as is John, the disciple that Jesus loved. And Jesus looks down and he sees them. Now wait a minute, let me stop for a second and say, where were Jesus' brothers? We don't see them here. We don't see the other disciples here either. Where are his brothers? Well, we know from earlier in the Gospels that his brothers did not believe in him yet. And Jesus, he knew the heart of every man. He knew exactly who he could entrust the things that are most precious to him. So let's read on. So starting in John 19:26. When Jesus then saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Behold your mother." And from that hour the disciple took her into his own household. So what was on Jesus' mind as he hung there in anguish? Not his anguish. Jesus never let his pain or his anguish diminish his compassion. His mind was on others. We first saw on the first thing he said on the cross, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." His mind was on his enemies and compassion for them. We see that his mind was on the other thief, the thief on the cross. There were 2 of them. On the one who believed in him, compassion and forgiveness and salvation came to that man. And today, we look at the third thing he said was, "Behold your mother, behold your son." As he cared for his mom as he hung on the cross. Now, I don't know about you, but I can only imagine what was going through his mother's mind in that moment. As she is watching her son hang on the cross, her innocent son. And yes, he's the Son of God, but he's also the boy that she gave birth to, and the boy that she raised and she loved and she cared for so tenderly. And now he's hanging on the cross, enduring absolute agony. And as she's looking up at him, he's looking down on her. And he's concerned for her. He's not absorbed in what's going on with him. He's concerned about her. And because he knows the heart of all man, he knows exactly whom he can entrust his mother with. He knows that John will care for her. John has been faithful and he has followed Jesus all the way to the cross. And John, who loved Jesus, was faithful to that. And he took his mother in that day. Now, I am challenged by this. I can get so absorbed in what I'm doing that I just become oblivious to everything around me. I fail at compassion so often. But I pray that we will all be encouraged, even as we're convicted, to be more intentional in showing those that God has placed directly in front of us a greater intentional compassion. May we be more like Jesus. His compassion knew no end. Whew. And tomorrow, we're going to look at the next words that Jesus said on the cross. And ironically, it's going to sound like Jesus is crying out for compassion, for God to show him compassion. So we're going to look at that carefully. But on one final note, I think that one of the biggest lessons that maybe we can take from this whole passage is that the Bible is teaching us. Jesus is modeling for us. Children, call your mother. Care for your mother. Show her you love her. Let her know you love her. I don't think I'm reading too much into the scriptures to say that, right? Happy Holy Week.